He's all in blue. He's been around for way too long.
And Capcom's fucked him over so many times.
Sort of what he said. It's Mega Man. So we're revisiting another week that I think we played the game. Yeah, I think we played the game 63, 53. Let's get
63.
63. And this game, the box art is hilarious for one thing.
Yeah, the English box art.
Yes. It looks like something from Tron meets, I don't even know.
Yeah,
if it was like a yellow vest.
Like if you just took the poster and just made it like a movie poster, nobody would know it's
an 80s movie.
Yeah, this would be so. Yeah, it would be so cool if Mega Man was actually just an 80s movie and they made a game based off it, and it was like one of the best movie-based games, and then it creates a franchise. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, so anyways, this game is, it's a really well-known game. I just sort of added it in there because we didn't really have a lot of shooters, I think, games at the time.
It wasn't really a shooter. It did have shooting, but it's a platforming shooter thingy.
Thingy.
I've actually played a Mega Man shooter where it was like, it's still the Mega Man thing, but it had the Ikaruga elements to it.
Yeah.
So like you have to switch between black and white,
but anyways, yeah. So this game, I think it came out. I don't think Mega Man really sold super well when it came out. I could be wrong, and it just developed a following. I don't know.
And an entire franchise. Yeah.
It's start of a franchise, but it's got like such a basic.
Well, there is a reason why Mega Man 2 is usually more popular than the first.
What is that?
More memorable characters, more memorable music.
Yeah, I would agree definitely with the music. The characters, I would say, yeah, for sure, a lot more memorable. The stages in Mega Man 1, Gutsman was sort of construction site, platforming.
Yeah. But Cutman was my first level.
Okay, but I mean, with Mega Man, this was sort of like a humble beginning, and I think they had more time to make number 2, and he had, I think they sort of just felt with the success, they sort of built it from there.
And then they built up and up and up, and then it became a big mega franchise, and every year a Mega Man game would come out.
But I think the thing with Mega Man, one of the things to me, I didn't realize it because I was a kid, like maybe 2 when it came out. So I played it much later, maybe like 89 if I remember, when I was maybe 5 or so. And I think what's unique with Mega Man, and the reason why it really did well, was it's like a lot of Nintendo games, you realize much later, like, oh wait, if I use this guy's powers against someone else's, it weakens the boss that much faster. So, I mean, that strategy element, I think, was very different. I can't think of any other game from that time period that really had that.
That's what makes Mega Man super unique amongst the other games. I mean, you had Kirby, and Kirby had the ability to take people's powers on the fly, but Mega Man is the guy who has permanently the other enemy's powers.
And also Kirby came out like 5 years or so after, I think.
Yeah.
Or 3 to 5 years. But anyways, I think Mega Man, I could be wrong, but I can't think of any games that were actually released before Mega Man that had that sort of ability to absorb that enemy's power. Yeah. I mean, you don't really expect it when you first start playing, but then, as word of mouth came out, then it's like, oh, this is an easier way to play this game that's otherwise really hard if you try and use the blaster, the regular proton blaster.
Yeah.
So
this game has stood the test of time for like 5 different generations now.
And I think with Mega Man, for sure, there was nothing really quite like it, and I think that's why it developed quite a fan base from the first game, even if the first game wasn't. In my opinion, I prefer 2 as well. So I think that's why Mega Man really stood out amongst a lot. And especially if you look at a lot of Nintendo games, like there's Contra, and I can't think of any other shooters off the top of my head. But,
Metroid.
There's Metroid, true. But I think that's one thing that made Mega Man unique, the different mix and match and find out what, there was that strategy element, gave extra depth to the gameplay, and also the it was kind of a mysterious. I think the plot is kind of interesting, kind of sci-fi.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Mega Man
Mhm.
franchise's lore is pretty easy to follow.
Mm-hmm. But people were like, "Oh, what's this blue bomber guy? Like, what's? Is he a robot? Is he a cyborg?" And like, people didn't know.
Is he
That's
just
what
a
I
guy
remember.
with a ray gun like the poster
He's just
shows
some
us?
weird guy that dressed up as like a cosplayer, and but I
Well,
think that was
luckily
the
we
thing.
have the Mega Man TV series.
Well, no. What I'm saying is think of back in the 80s. That's what I'm trying to say with the point of view. You didn't really know Mega Man's backstory. There was no internet, obviously, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there was that mystique of having.
The only way
Mega
you'd
Man.
find out is if you opened up the game manual, which
People
once upon a time
usually
kids
didn't
was
have.
filled with lots of lore.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the time, if people were like me, I didn't have the manual, so you sort of with Nintendo games, I found more than any other era. You sort of developed your own story because there was very little. Like you just jump straight in the game, then you jump in the level, and there's very little text in Mega Man. I think it's when you play against Dr. Wily and maybe some of the bosses. There's very little, so you sort of have to imagine your own backstory, and I think that sort of helps games.
I did that with a few games myself.
Mm-hmm.
Smash Brothers, Missile Command. Those are just two examples.
Yeah, and I think the fact that people have that ability to decide the context of the game and sort of wonder about it, leaving it to the imagination, mystery.
Nowadays, games now just have like hours upon hours of cutscenes.
And there's no instruction manuals.
There's
Or they're
literally
online.
no instruction manuals.
Yeah.
And even if they did, they just tell you how the controls work and tips and stuff.
And that's the other thing, the controls, as you were saying, like it's very basic. Jump, shoot. There's no sliding in the first Mega Man.
There's no charging in the first game.
Yeah, it was very basic.
It's very, very, very basic.
Yeah. So there was a lot more. I would say like because the controls were simplified, you could even argue that there was more strategy involved because you don't really have the sliding or dash move I was trying to say. So yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of. I don't think there's really much else.
The sound.
To say. The sound's pretty cool. The sounds are pretty unique. The robots, when you open the menu, I'd say the sound was pretty good too. You can kind of see. I think the way that they do the levels in one versus the later ones, you can definitely see that they started off like basic, level schemes, and it sort of made things more complex.
I should also note that this is the only Mega Man game with a score system, at least the mainstream Mega Man games.
Oh, really? I didn't even remember that part, but that's good to know. So, but again, that's showing the time, how games were of the time. Like from the, I would guess, mid 70s through to early 90s, the score was a big thing. Like, oh, my score is bigger than yours. Ha. And, that's not, I wouldn't say that's as prevalent anymore. Now it's like, oh, I beat you, in my opinion, but.
Yeah.
Or
well, now we have
Xbox achievements.
Now we have leaderboards.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the game, that really shows again how games have changed. Instead of points, it's more like, oh, I unlocked this achievement, I unlocked this character.
Yeah, so that's
So
why
it's a little bit different.
I definitely say if you are just hopping into video games and you
Or
want
see
to
where
go
it
back
came
to the
from.
past, this would definitely be a pickup. And there's this thing on Steam where it's a legacy collection where it has Mega Man's 1 through 6, and it gives you a bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Not only does it contain, the usual games, but it also contains art, backstories. They even you can even go into just a boss battle, like right off the bat, with all your
that was the
weapons
version we
unlocked.
played. So again, that was $8 on sale. So if you're looking to quickly get into the series, I mean, starting at Mega Man 1, which people say is usually the hardest overall, but I would beg to differ. I think 4 through 6 can be very hard. Some people find very hard, some people find them very easy, but for me, I find them very hard.
Yep.
So
And
depends
well,
on
it is
skill.
Nintendo. It's an old Nintendo game, and usually Nintendo games are pretty hard. Like you said, it got very hard, and the
Complicated.
last few screens before we entered the boss were some of the
Yeah.
hardest.
Yeah.
And even then, you couldn't even beat the boss. I mean, you did. I was this close to beating him,
Mhm.
but as you can see, I lost to him.
Hmm. And that's the thing that, and they've over the years, they've also started to run out of ideas towards the later Mega Man games. So they started to ask people. There was actually a poll. Capcom started asking people for names, and they started to get very out there. I think there's like Train Man. I don't remember too well.
No, that was Charge Man.
Is it Charge Man? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's been a
but
while.
it was a Train Man.
Yeah, he looks like a Train Man, like Thomas the Tank Engine. So
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that in later Mega Man games, they actually asked for people to send in their designs.
Mhm.
Like at one
That's what I
point,
just said.
like at one point, it was actually a contest through Nintendo Power where you submit your own Mega Man enemies.
Yeah, yeah. Again, that's what I just said, but I guess you didn't hear me say that.
What you said was a poll to give people names. I'm talking about people sending in full-on designs.
Yeah, it was the same poll.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways, so definitely this is a good game to start if you want to start somewhere in the series. I think this one would sort of brace you for the rest of the series because
yeah,
that way you get tough.
because of difficulty, it might be only downhill from there. But
Once you get good at the Mega Man games, so.
yeah, I'd actually risk to say that it's the Dark Souls of robot games.
Oh my gosh. I thought we were done with the Dark Souls references, but no. Alright, well, I don't have anything else to say. I think,
Like I
said,
vintage pickup, it aged well.
yes, I mean, the gameplay aged well, the character design, but yes, definitely one of the games you should try just to see where it all started for sure.
Alright,
Alright, keep on gaming, guys, and we'll see you next week, and we'll shoot off a few more videos for you. Sign up to our Twitters and all that fun stuff.
alright, signing out.
Sorry. Keep on gaming.
Adios.